Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Jeff Leeson, and this is the story of my first amateur night at a comedy club when I was 16 years old. The first thing you got to do is you got to call in. Now, at a lot of comedy clubs, you have to call in multiple times. You have to leave a message. There's specific times you have to call at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, and if you call at 10:05, you're excluded. It's a crazy world, this comedy business. In my town, London, Ontario, the comedy club there did amateur nights, but very sporadically. So they weren't every week. They weren't even every month, because there was only me and like a couple of other people in London that even wanted to attempt stand-up comedy. So for a few weeks, maybe, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, I'm trying to get through. I'm leaving messages, nothing. Finally, one day, I'm sitting at home. Phone rings. Phone, not cell phone, like wired house line or whatever the fuck they call it. That thing rings. I go to it because it's not where I was, and they tell me, hey, we're looking for Jeff Leeson. I say, you found him? I didn't say that. I definitely wasn't that kind of kid when I was 16 years old. I don't even think I'd say that now, but that'd be a weird thing to say. We're looking for Jeff Leeson. You found him. Why are you doing? You're on the phone. You're on the phone. What are you doing the snap guns for? You idiot. Anyway, let's get back to the story. They say, listen, you got a spot next Wednesday night. I run upstairs. I tell my mom, I'm like, this is huge. We made it, That's how I felt. That's how I really felt. I felt like somebody had just given me everything I've ever wanted in my whole life. And sometimes I think back on that. Sometimes, because I've been around now for 20-something years, occasionally, I won't get something I auditioned for, or I won't get a festival, like a comedy festival of some kind that I thought I had a good audition for, or something like won't go the way I would like it to go. And and you get upset, you boo-hoo for a minute, and then you get back to work. For a second, sometimes you get down, you get mad, or like, fuck, you know what I mean? And sometimes in that moment, I have to think back and think, dude, one amateur night, 16 years old, 5 minutes of comedy, you felt like they just gave you everything you ever wanted in your whole life. Who gives a shit about that festival that doesn't matter, or that audition that you'll never think about past this moment? I think about that all the time, because that was like my dream, man. Like, that was my dream, My dream was not be famous or be a millionaire, or that. I never even thought about that. Like, the comedians I saw, I never even thought of them as famous or I just thought they were comedians. They were hilarious, and they get to be funny and entertain people every day or every night. Like, that's what I wanted to do. And so the fact that somebody was going to let me do that for 5 minutes, it was like my dream had come true. Like, that was legit my thought, So we cut to next week, Tuesday, the day before. I get a call, same number. Unfortunately, we didn't have anybody else sign up this week for amateur night, so we are going to have to cancel. Crushed. Heartbroken. That was my first heartbreak. So what do? Right? I'm heartbroken. I was in the basement when I took the call. I go upstairs, and I say to my mom, unfortunately, nobody signed up, so it's canceled. And she says, well, what about Thursday? So the pros, the professional comics, they come in on Thursday, and they do Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I said, Thursday night, the pros get there, and that's the show. And she said, well, why don't they just throw you on before the pros? And I was like, I'm 16. Like, in my mind, I can't call an adult, a manager of, who's an adult of an establishment, that is my dream to work at, call them back and start negotiating. You know what I mean? I can't call them and be like, hey, listen, I talked it over with my mom a little bit, and we were wondering, like, what about Thursday? Like, I didn't have that in me to say that kind of stuff. I don't even think I'd do that now as an adult. She goes, what about Thursday? I'm like, that's not, I don't know what about Thursday. I didn't ask about Thursday, and I have no idea. She goes, hold on. She leaves. She comes back. She goes, hey, you're on Thursday night, right before the pros, 5 minutes, 8 o'clock. Good luck. I don't know if she said good luck, actually. I might have thrown that in, but she said everything else. What? I remember being so, like, it was a crazy moment because up until that point, I don't think I ever even thought a decision could be overturned. That never occurred to me as a teenager or like whatever. It was just a teacher told you to do something, you do it. A parent told you to do something, you do it. A friend's parent told you to do something, you do it, right? And unless it's like fucking insane or weird, you don't really ask questions about it. The fact that it just was like, what about Thursday? And then it's Thursday. And the other thing I think about all the time is, what if that didn't happen? Would that have been where I quit? I mean, I don't think I would have quit. I think I just would have found other places because eventually, because they weren't doing amateur nights there, my mom used to have to drive me to shows from London to Niagara Falls to Hamilton to Toronto. These are 2 hour, 3 hour trips one way, 6 out. Like, that's a whole night, you know? But yeah, what about Thursday? I think about that all the time. Listen, this is the second one of these stories I've done. Hopefully you guys like them. If you do, let me know. Leave a comment down below. You know, let me know if there's anything you want to hear, if there's stories you want to hear. Also, you could subscribe if you wanted to. I'm not going to pressure you into that because, like, that's a choice for you to make whether you want to do that or not. It would be cool if you wanted to know, like, when other videos are coming out and, you know, you could click the notification and then it'll let you know. But hey, if you want to just watch this and then bounce, that's cool too. Either way, I appreciate you watching this and thank you for being here. All right. I've kept you long enough. It's time for you to go.